Hey, this is Money and Wealth with John Hope Bryant on the Black Effect Network at iHeart, Black Effect Podcast Network at iHeart. This is a fan question. This is from AHSAANMITCHELL underscore at Instagram. Asan Michel. Asan Michel. I believe I'm saying that properly. At From Instagram. What is an intellectual property's financial relevancy in creating wealth? What is an intellectual property's financial financial relevancy in creating wealth? That's a great question. I would go one step further and say, what is an intellectual property rights financial relevancy in creating wealth? Or just in what's an intellectual property rights value? Well, if you want to find the value of a Stevie Wonder, then look at his intellectual property rights, his music, his brand, his image, his likeness. What is the value of Dr. King today? His intellectual property rights, his speeches, his recordings, his image. What's an intellectual property rights of my brother Charlemagne, the founder of the Black Effect Network? Same. His radio program, the Breakfast Club, and all the other stuff that he does. What's an intellectual property right of Michael Jackson or whoever your favorite artist is? But also, uh, intellectual property rights are not just creative. You have uh, an intellectual property that's a brand is an intellectual property. It's intangibly tangible. Coca-Cola is an intellectual property. The brand of Coca-Cola. They've created value in the name. I think I've created an intellectual property value in the things that I've been associated with. Um, I'm gonna make this really simple. If you want to find a growing economy is really doing well. You'll find a lot of patents. All a patent is a monetized idea. A monetized idea is an intellectual property. It's a thought, it's an idea, it's a creative that's been structured and been then codified in protections. In this particular case, a patent. You can also have copyrights. You can have all kinds of ways of protecting NFTs, or you can have all kind of digital and other ways of protecting uh, intellectual properties. But the easiest way to understand this is the biggest economies in the world have the most patents, and the smallest, most destitute places in the world have almost no patents because they're war torn, and people don't have in order to be creative and to have the kind of environment where you create things and you then monetize things. You need a legal structure. You need a government. You need fair play. You need laws. You need the rule of law, and you need peace of mind. Well, that doesn't work very well in places that are war torn. Now, does it? So I hope I've explained in a thumbnail what an intellectual property is and how it creates and can create financial relevancy and is a form of wealth creation. At some point, a mutual fund, before it was a mutual fund, was an intellectual property. A car, before it was a car, was an intellectual property. A collection of those, which are patents and other rights that came together to manufacture that car, the axle, the wheel, the tire, all those were inventors that created those things and put them together ultimately through a manufacturer and a car designer who has intellectual property rights, who then created this car, which ultimately becomes a physical asset or liability, but a physical thing, right? A real piece of property, real property, they call it, something you can touch. Which, but it started with an intellectual property. Most great things started with intellectual property. Music is as old as the world itself. It's amazing. Maybe the original language. Those are intellectual, in my opinion, intellectual properties. Okay, I can go on and on about this, but I'm probably tired of hearing myself talk, and so are you. So there we go. Hope this has been helpful, and thank you for the fan question from Asan Michelle at Instagram. John Hope Bryant. This is Money and Wealth on the Black Effect Network at iHeart.